Hey guys, this is Alex Chamberlin, and as you guys know, I've recently got a new bike. So I got the Pivot Firebird. It's a size large, and I was coming off a Yeti SB6C. And just for starters, this is definitely on the downhill side of things compared to the SB6. But yeah, you guys have asked a lot of questions about this bike, and I just wanted to get them all out there and tell you guys everything that's on this bike. So yeah, this is Alex Chamberlin, and this is my bike check on the Pivot Firebird. So it's a 170 millimeter travel bike, front and rear. I couldn't really get a 180 fork right now. I don't think Fox makes one for the 2018 36s. But yeah, in the future I want to definitely go with a 180 millimeter fork. So let's start from the top. So what stands out the most is these rental fat bar carbon bars. They're actually the limited edition ones. They're about a year old, but they're 780 mil width and a 30 mil rise. And I really like them, and I really can't see myself selling a bike with them, so they're going to stay with me until they break. So that's attached to a 40 millimeter rental apex stem. Nice and short because the reach on the Firebird is 20 millimeters longer. Well, I think it's 17 millimeters longer than my Yeti. So we shortened the reach by 10 millimeters by using the stem. And then we have a custom top cap by Dylan Stroop, just a buddy of mine out of Martinez. He actually has a company, 925 Engineering, and they make derailleur hangers for really cheap. So they're a competitor to like Wheels Manufacturing. So yeah, I don't know if his top caps are for sale, but definitely if you need a derailleur hanger, check out 925 Engineering. It's American made right out of their garage, and some really good products. So other than that, we got some carbon spacers. We got about 15 millimeters of stack height below the stem, and it's attached to a Chris King headset. So Chris King is one of the only headsets I like to use. If I run other headsets like FSA, like I go through bearings like every month. So the Chris King, put it on my bike, just pretty much forget about it. No creaks, it just works properly, and I really like it. So what else is on the handlebar? We got some Shimano Saint brakes. So these are technically the downhill brakes, but I'm 195 pounds. I'm kind of a bigger guy. So the Saint brakes really help slow me down. And that's attached to a 203 mil rotor, and it's the Ice Tech center lock rotors. I think they're the Frieza rotors actually. And then I have Trucker Co. semi-metallic pads, because I wasn't really a fan of the Shimano resin pads or the Shimano metallics. The resins just, I don't know, don't feel very grabby, and the metallics kind of fade as you go down a hill and really heat up the mineral oil. It almost like boils the mineral oil within like 3 minutes. So the semi-metallic seems to be working well, and it's kind of like my half and half system I was running earlier this year, where I was running a half Shimano resin pad and a half Shimano metallic pad. So the semi-metallics are feeling really good so far, and I'm a big fan. Other than the brake on the bar, we got the XTR shifter. Nice and positive feel. And the only reason I really have it is because XT, you kind of have that like gear indicator. I'm not a big fan of it. And the XTR just shifts really well and has a 3-year warranty. And when you ride a bike really hard, you definitely need to think about those warranties when you buy parts. So then also on the bar, we got the Ergon downhill grips, and we got the thick ones. I really want to try the thinner style. So far, this is my favorite grip on the market, but it's just a touch too thick. I don't know. You definitely need some bare hands to make these work for you. But I definitely want to try the slimmer ones, and it might work better for me. Also, we have a little bit of grip tape on the XTR shifter. Just gives you a little more positive feel. So the last thing on the bar is the Wolf Tooth remote lever. So it has this like cross hatching in it already. So I used to run grip tape on my Fox transfer post lever, but this one just seems better. It runs on a bearing, so it's a lot smoother. And I'm just a big fan of it. It has a big contact. I don't know, just feels really good. Feels like a normal shifter. So I think that's it for the cockpit. So we're gonna go to what that lever was attached to. So we have a Fox transfer post. It's a 150 millimeter drop. And because the Firebird has a lower seat tube height, I have a lot of post showing. But I don't mind it. Feels really good. And I get a really low standover height. And that's attached to a Ergon SME3 saddle. And it's blue, and it kind of matches the rest of the bike. We were kind of going for an America theme here with the red, white, and blue. We also have the saddle rails, not all the way forward, but definitely more forward than normal. And I don't know, just gives me that comfortable climbing position I like, even though this bike has a really steep seat tube angle. So moving down, we have a 2018 36 RC2 from Fox. It's got 170 millimeters of travel. So the first thing I noticed is it has a lot more suppleness off the top. So, like, it will feel more like a Lyric than the old 36 would. The old 36 came off a little bit harsh, whereas this is definitely supple, but it still maintains that really good mid-stroke. So on that fork, I'm running around 82 PSI. I think I have 10 clicks of low-speed compression from open, 2 clicks of high-speed compression from open, and then I think 8 clicks of rebound from closed. Sorry, that's a little confusing, but that's just how I do it. It makes more sense in my mind. On that Fox 36 fork, we have the Cobalt axle in orange that doesn't match any of my bike, but I really don't like levers on my axles. I just like them clean and simple like that, so I like that as a touch. And then everyone asks about these stickers, and we got the Fox 36 stickers from Stickered. They're actually a company out of the Bay Area, and they do a phenomenal job making your bike custom and just have something unique. So I'm a big fan, and the orange looked horrible on this bike, so that was a huge upgrade for me, and it just looks the part. So moving even further down, we have these DT Swiss EX 1501 wheels. In the front, we actually have a 30 millimeter inner width, whereas the rear, we have a 25 millimeter inner width. But the front, this allows me to run those wide trail tires. It feels really good. And I don't know, it works better with the 2.5 tire than the 25 mil. Also, I run the 25 mil rim in the rear because this thing gets a lot of abuse. I found out that the 25 millimeter inner width is actually a little bit stronger from my past experiences. But the reason I run aluminum rims is I've broken so many carbon rims, it's not even worth the hassle. So I just run a sturdy aluminum rims. They literally run them on their downhill bikes. They're basically 471s, but when you buy them as a wheel set, they come as the 1501s because you get the 240 hub with like the 54 tooth engagement. So yeah, it's basically a 471, and a lot of downhillers sponsored by DT Swiss run these wheels. They're super strong. But I've had these wheels for about a year, and they probably have like 9 or 10 dents in them. But the cool thing is you just take a crescent wrench, peel the rim back, and it's just like normal again. So yeah, huge fan of these wheels. I've probably trued them once in an entire year, and I try and ride every day, and I just beat the crap out of bikes. So I'm buying another one of these wheel sets next time I need one. I'm a huge fan. But the most important part of the bike is the tires. So we got the Minion DHF front tire, and it's a 27.5 by 2.5 wide trail, and it's in the 3C Max Grip combo. So it's got the super soft side knobs. They're awesome. They grip into everything. This is one of the most proven tires on the market, and I can tell you, like, it's my favorite tire I've ever run. It's almost always on my front wheel, unless it's the muddiest race on earth. I might go to like a Maxxis Shorty, but you cannot go wrong with a Minion DHF. It's the standard. It's so good, and obviously, I don't know, just super happy with them. You can never say too many good things about this tire. It's just phenomenal. So out to the back, all of you think I'm running this Aggressor on backwards because there's no logos. So on Maxxis tires, the logo is always on the right side. So you guys see there's only a Maxxis logo, but then you see on the other side there's only a Maxxis logo. So what gives? This is actually Maxxis's brand new 2.5 Aggressor wide trail, and it's a double down casing. So this is new for 2017. It's coming out in September, I think. And yeah, Maxxis was kind enough to send me one of these tires. They knew I loved the Aggressor 2.3s, so they wanted me to get on the 2.5, and I love it. It's super wide, and it gives me a lot of traction. So like noticeably more traction than the 2.3. I don't know if you can tell, but these knobs are so much deeper. It's almost like the height of a DHR now. So I'm really impressed. I immediately found out there was a lot more traction. We went to North Star and like the worst dust on earth, and these just hooked up. It was actually really hard to get the rear wheel to slide. You know those little Scandinavian flicks where you kind of like skid to the inside of a trail, then whip around on a switchback to the right? So on this bike with these wheels, it was actually harder to do that because there was so much grip. So I had to relearn how to do those little flicks. So that's how much grip there was. And I beat the crap out of this at Downeyville, Tahoe, Santa Cruz, and the tire's still running strong and have had no issues with flatting. So definitely a thumbs up for me on the Maxxis Aggressor 2.5s. So definitely keep a lookout for those. That's going to be the really hot tire of late 2017, 2018. And the shock is a Float X2. It's specific for this bike. I think it's the only shock you can run on this bike unless you get a custom push shock. Other than that, I think those are your only two options. But I don't know all the adjustments on this because I've been tuning it in kind of every ride, and I've kind of got it to that perfect spot, but I haven't written anything down yet. But at least I know the sag is right, because when you move this little rubber band, it should sit right where this red line is. It's really easy to set up your sag, and I'm happy they made a small feature like that on the bike. It just makes, you're not second guessing your sag the whole time. So for protection on this frame, I have a little bit of 3M like helicopter OG tape. It's only really good for cable scars, like the cable rubbing up against the frame. It doesn't do much more than that. So that's where I turned into all mountain styles. And we got all mountain style for the down tube protection. So when you're shuttling, you have all that protection on your bike. And yeah, I've shuttled quite a bit with this thing, and there is no wear at all. And then we just got some on the back because I'm always holding here when I'm shuttling, picking it up into the truck, and it can get scuffed up there. But to be honest, this frame was really hard to put these stickers on. There was very few places the stickers looked good, and that's not all Mountain Style's fault. It's just this frame with the colors on it, it kind of just looked kind of cluttered. And then you have these little feature stickers that I'm not a big fan of. And I wanted to cover them up, but it looked weird. So yeah, I did the best I could with what I got, but I think it looks really good. And this is probably one of the coolest looking bikes I've ever owned. So we were talking about protection. So it's cool, it comes stock with a nice rubber guard for rock strikes at the bottom. But I had to put this mastic tape right here because rocks would get lodged up in the DW link. And this helps out a lot from rock chips and dings. And that's not a rock chip, that's leftover mastic tape right there. But again, with the frame protection, the stock pivot chain guard was not my favorite. I thought the chain was extremely loud, so I wrapped the crap out of this thing with 3 layers of mastic tape all the way up here. And ever since then, it's silent, and it's the most silent bike I've ever ridden now. This thing's awesome. It's honestly, I'm so stoked on how the mastic tape helped it out. It was super chattery and loud, and now it's just quiet. I go down the trail and all I hear is my tires gripping. So we have my favorite guide on the market. We got the 1-Up. I don't even know what it's called, but we got the 1-Up guide. It's really tight, tucked under there, does its job, doesn't stick too low, and just really simple and clean, and I've never had the chain fall off. It's paired with the 1-Up 34 tooth chainring, which makes it so I don't have to run those stupid caps on the XTR. So it looks a lot cleaner, and it's one of the best chain retentions I've ever felt. And one of the reasons I run an XTR drivetrain is because I have aluminum cranks. You might think these things look like crap, which they do, but it's definitely character on the bike. But there's a reason I run these aluminum cranks. See how much abuse this thing has gotten? If I had carbon cranks, they would have cracked. So if you check this out, I literally have beaten the crap out of my cranks. So there's honestly chunks out of the cranks on the top and the bottom of the cranks. I don't know if you can really see that one. But that just happened the other day. It honestly sounded like my frame snapped, how loud it was. But yeah, my cranks are still intact. And yeah, I definitely prefer aluminum cranks. So probably will not be on carbon cranks for a long time. Or ever, unless it's on more of an XC style bike. But these cranks are plenty light, and yeah. My biggest thing with bikes is I want my bikes to be durable. I don't really care about the weight. I think this thing weighs like 30, 31 pounds, so it's no lightweight, but it does the job, and it's super reliable. So yeah, it's attached to these Shimano XTR pedals. XT, XTR, they all feel the same to me. They do their job, but these are the ones that are on the bike right now. I think they're super cheap online if you feel like buying them. Yeah, they're like normally like something like $200, and they're like under 100, so yeah, these things are awesome. Love them. And super burly. These ones aren't as abused as my old ones, but still, you want aluminum, no carbon. Just want them to last. So what's attached to that chainring is a 1-up chain. This is actually the first 1-up chain I've used. I haven't had any issue with it. It comes in black and gold, I think, and my only gripe is it kind of has like a off-colored master link, but at the same time it's really easy to find that master link if you ever need to take the chain off, and I don't know, no problem with it. Looks cool on my bike. So we have an XTR mid-cage derailleur, and yeah, does the job. I think it's really smooth shifting. It's one of the best shifting experiences I've had on a mountain bike so far, so that's why I'm running it. It's really robust. Haven't had really any problems other than, I don't know, I've had this on my bike for pretty much a year like the rest of everything else, and I'm developing a slight bit of bushing play up here, so I wonder if that's warrantyable. But yeah, there's a little bit of play, so like if I go through something really rough, it will actually jump down a gear on the cassette. So that's kind of pissing me off lately, but other than that, it's been one of the most robust systems, and I haven't had to warranty it yet. I might now, but yeah, that's why you buy the high-end products that have warranties, so you can replace things like that. But yeah, we got the 11 to 42 tooth cassette, and it's XT, so this is a wearable item, so I don't usually buy the most expensive because I do have to buy these parts. So yeah, if it's a wearable item, I'm going to buy the cheaper part. I'm going to go through it in a couple months, and maybe when it comes time for like some serious races, I'll drop down to the XTR cassette to lose some weight, which it's an important place to lose weight. The more or the less unsprung weight you have, the better your suspension is going to feel. So possibly I'll do that one day. By the way, inside these tires is actually Trucker Co. cream sealant, and I found out it's one of the best sealants on the market. It kind of seals a little bit better than orange seal in my opinion, but it's also like, it's way cheaper. I think it's half the price of stand sealant. So yeah, it's just cheapest thing on the market. Same with the pads. Those Trucker Co. pads are like $11. So highly recommend those, and you get a pad that Shimano doesn't even make. So you get that semi-metallic pad, so highly recommend that. Other than that, that's my 2017 Pivot Firebird. It's a huge travel bike. It's definitely meant for the park, meant for burly trails, but I'm gonna have this bike throughout the summer, and we'll see what I do with it next fall and winter. But I'm definitely keen to get on that Pivot Switchblade. That thing is a rocket ship. But right now, having 170 millimeters of travel means I can pick any line I want. I can try the gnarliest crap on the side of the trails. I can make up my own lines, and I've had a great time just blasting and trying new stuff down the trail. So yeah, this bike's definitely for a hard charger, and I'm a big fan of it so far. Everything's super robust on it, and I can't see myself having really any issues. My only complaint with the bike so far is the bottom bracket might be too low. I've got a lot of rock strikes in the bottom of my pedals lately, and climbing up really technical hills has become kind of a challenge. So yeah, that's the only downfall, has been technical climbs. I've ended up scraping my cranks a couple times. But other than that, so far, bike just bombs down hills, and it's really not a bad pedaler to get back up the hill. When you're on it, you're not thinking, oh, what if I was on a shorter travel bike? There's none of that going on. You're just like, damn, I'm on a ripper, and I can't wait to go down the next descent. So yeah, it's been a Pivot Firebird bike check, and I want to get more of my friends like privateer bike checks out, because I know you guys are missing on those. So let me know what you guys think of this bike, and what would you change if it was your personal bike? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. One more thing I want to tell you guys is I'll actually be in British Columbia for the next 3 weeks, starting this Friday, July 7th. So if you guys are up there, want to see me, let me know where you guys are, and maybe I could ride some of your guys' local trails. That'd be awesome. And then another thing is when I get home from that trip, maybe early August, I would love to have like a subscriber meetup, maybe at my local trail, Joaquin Miller Park in Oakland. If any of you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely get something like that sorted. I'd love to meet you guys, and I want this channel to be more of a community of riders, that we just have a fun time, and I really want to meet you guys. That's why you have YouTube, is to meet new people and have new friendships and connections. And that being said, I hope this got you stoked to go out and ride your bike. I'll see you guys out in the trails. Cheers.